Nick Popaditch, an American hero. Wow, thank you. Thank you. All right, now I gotta be brief because we got a lot of speakers today, so we're gonna talk about the healthcare debate. And it's funny because I don't remember the healthcare debate. It seems to have passed me by. So all I heard was the president talking about his fellow Americans, doctors, saying they're mercenaries, they're pulling kids' tonsils out for profit. Then I guess that didn't resonate well enough, so he had to up his ante. Now they're lopping off feet for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And I thought about some of the doctors I knew. On April 7, 2004, I was hit in the head by a rocket-propelled grenade. While I was being medevaced, I was bleeding to death. I was horribly wounded, and I was laying there on a field in the middle of Fallujah, Iraq. And two corpsmen, two medical staff came upon me, and they started working on me. And I tell you, I wasn't the best patient either. I just thrown up all over these guys. If you ever been shot in the head, it's kind of one of those things that have to make you a little nauseous. And then they started burying me, and I said, "What are you doing?" They said, "We're being mortar attacked, Gunny." And what these individuals were doing, they were taking off their own body armor, taking off their own helmets, taking off everything protecting them, and piling on me to save me, to protect my life. That's a doctor to me. I was blinded by that rocket. It blew one eye completely out of my head. It blew the other eye down in my sinus cavity. When I got to the animal hospital, that's what we used to call the doctors over there. We call them animal doctors. When I got to the animal hospital, doctor took my remaining eye. Hey, God bless America, love you too. When he got there, they put that remaining eye back up in my eye cavity in the field. And when I got here to Balboa Naval Hospital, right across the way here, a surgeon pulled a piece of shrapnel out of my eye. It entered my right temple, passed all the way through my head, and ended up behind my left eye. And that's why I couldn't see. A lot of people like to joke with me, said I had more brains, I'd be able to see just fine. I wouldn't have made it so far. But he pulled that piece of shrapnel out of my eye, and I went from being a blind man to being a sighted man. That's a doctor to me. Doctors are my heroes. So I tell you what, when that was the first premise of this healthcare debate, that these doctors are mercenaries, I said negative. That's not what we're going to do, not in my country. You're not going to demonize my fellow citizen. And apparently absolutely. And my fellow citizen felt the same way. So they went to another tactic. They said, no, this is about health care. It's about health. They dressed up a bunch of imposters in lab coats, said it's about health care. So then I went and I seen the next thing. And when I went out campaigning, I talked to a breast cancer survivor. And she was talking about breast cancer funding. And I was thinking about this health care bill because I'm planning on defunding this thing. So I'm asked, I said, where do you get funding for breast cancer research? She says, from the Defense Finance Bill. I said, really? I said, why? She said, I don't care why, that's just where we get it from. And I said, okay, I understand that. You're a taxpayer, it's your tax dollar. I don't blame you. I'd take it from wherever I could get it. 2,500 pages of health care bill, not one dime to breast cancer research. So don't tell me it's about health care. By the way, that lady was 47 years old. As a matter of fact, under the health care bill, she would have not even been screened. She wouldn't be a survivor. She would have been in a coffin. Now, so then they said, well, it's about insurance. And I said, okay. And I tell you, I'm a retired Marine. I get TRICARE Prime, which is what our active duty military and our retired military, this is what they get. Our rates went up. Our prosthetic devices are taxed. Our kids aren't covered at 26. Don't tell me it's about health care insurance. It's an income redistribution, and they start with those defending this country. Wrong country, wrong constitution. No way, not in my country. Okay, so that's all the bad news. We already know what's broke. We've been talking about what's broke all day. What are we going to do about it, Gunny? I'll tell you what. I would love to sit up here and tell you we're going to repeal it. And I absolutely pledge a vote to repeal it. But it's not going to happen that way. Not going to happen that way. But with your vote, we're going to flip that House of Representatives, and we will control the purse. We will control the funding. We'll defund it. But we're not stopping with that. We're going after all those czars. We're going to defund all of those guys. We're going to get the private sector back in the hands of the private sector. Government cannot create jobs. It can just take money away from those who do. We're going to lower those taxes. We're going to get that private sector growing again. They'll be creating the jobs, and guess what? We won't have a health care crisis because people won't be losing their health care insurance because they won't be losing their jobs. But I decided I'm not stopping there, because the thing that really ticks me off the most about this, and that's right where I started, is those doctors are my heroes. Those doctors are absolutely my heroes, and I am sick and tired of seeing my president demonize my fellow American. Talking to these individuals like they're mercenaries, like they're bloodthirsty, like they're doing all these things. Well, I tell you what, wrong country. That sort of talk, you need to be using that on our enemies. You need to be talking to Popaditch with that sort of language. You need to be talking to Kim Jong-il with that sort of language, not your fellow American. So we're going to get over there. We're going to win this war on terrorism. We're going to win Afghanistan the same way we won in Iraq. We're going to win with a troop surge the same way Ronald Reagan won against the Soviets, same way we won in World War II. We're Americans. American exceptionalism. We're going to outproduce you. We're going to outlast you. We're going to outfight you. You'll get tired before we will. What did John Kerry say in 2008? Wrong war, wrong time, wrong place. I thought, you know what? That's what our enemies should be saying when they think about fighting with Americans. Wrong war, wrong time, wrong place. So, thank you for your time today. To these doctors out here, God bless you. Thank you for my life, my sight. And I tell you what, the chain of custody is on us. Chain of custody of liberty, of freedom, of this Constitution is on us. God bless America. Thank you for showing up. I'm Nick Popaditch.